Hi, Master Peter Brusso again. This is podcast number 3. Our podcasts are getting pretty popular, and Harry's with me. Say good afternoon, Harry.
Hi, guys.
There
Thanks
you,
for having me back, Peter.
there you go. Well, we got pretty popular on the last one, so we'll see if we can beat our numbers on this one. Um, and on the podcast, I think one of the things, our first podcast was wildly popular, I thought. The second one was even more off the chart good. I think a lot of talking about the behind the scenes stuff, and you were just down here and we blah, 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 don't put us both together in the same room for too long. We come up with all kinds of cool stuff. But we've had significant movement this last week. So that's all pretty exciting
Let's
stuff.
hear about the Mad Scientist Lab. Let's go.
All right. My hair even looks like a little bit of a mad scientist today. All right. Drink coasters. Let me tell you where we are. We've done 40 drink coasters out there, and they started to come in various kind of designs. We've been looking at how to make these things and all the variables and whatnot, and we're still making some very beautiful artwork. Ruben is, and I try my hand at a few of these things on tile, and we also have expanded into the CD-ROMs, but we'll get there in a minute with the CD-ROMs. Ruben came up with a very unique design. Every one of these is unique and starts out that way. And I tried another new technique, and that's that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very different. So we were still struggling with how we're going to sell these, and it looks to me like a good number of them look like flowers or floral designs. So that's a group. Some have more of the colors and things like that. It becomes another group. So we're going to take 4 coasters and shoot them, take a picture, and put those 4 up for sale. So they'll come out in batches of 4, some in floral, some in the other designs, and then some, very unique version. We can keep track of which ones go where. So that we're getting some stuff, and we're waiting. I ordered a rubber stamp from Vistaprint. We've been trying the branding iron, but lo and behold, we learned that these things aren't flat. Branding iron's flat. So trying to roll them and get them so they don't double print and things like that was problematic. But anyway, we've got a solution for that coming. And then we are still working towards our business card versions. Still got stuff going there. Then we went into the CD-ROM world and various techniques of the CD-ROM and how they would look. And pursuant to our last podcast where we talk about, I floated in that breaking of the CD-ROM. These are all kind of generating weapons that hide in plain sight concept for your office, or as you pointed out, workspace. I call that a cubicle. I dated myself. It's a workspace, so it's good. We're going to pick up that term and run with it. So we did some work with that. Let me share a video of us breaking a CD-ROM version. Okay, so here's our beautiful drink coaster on the top, and you of course use that like a regular drink coaster, but also we scored it on the underside, which of course would not show up in the colored version. And that scoring is a line that helps us break it. And it should break just like that. And you have a defender, a sharp defender in each hand that you can go after and defend yourself, go after an adversary. Absolutely beautiful. And that's how you do that. What do you think of that? That's pretty cool.
I think that eliminated one of the problems with the futzing with it to get it to snap, and it gives you the 2 even pieces consistent. So it's definitely a positive improvement. For sure.
So I thought, well, I'm not thinking big enough. Thank you, Anton Simpson.
There you go.
And so, well, what if we could lay a Hannah in there? And of course, a Hannah, for those that don't know or don't remember or don't want to know or don't want to remember, a Hannah is a tool like this, offset edge, really nice to open boxes with and whatnot, and works really well on the side of a neck, front of a neck, that kind of thing. So what if you could break this shape and would it be usable? So let's take a look at that next. All right, so here's our beautiful artwork on a CD-ROM drink coaster. Has pads on the bottom, felt pads, so it doesn't scoot around. And we scored another one just to show you how the scoring might work for you. We scored a Hannah design, and let's see what happens here. There, well, yeah, there's the score. So let's see if we can break it along the score lines. Go ahead. He's trying to break the wrong end. How well does that score work, huh? Oh, shoot. Turn it so I can see it. Look at that. There's a Hannah CD-ROM. It's a stabbing device. Wow. Pretty cool. And that's how you do that. That's amazing how well that broke in those lines, isn't it?
It is. Definitely.
And of course, that's a stabbing weapon. You're going after carotid arteries, throats, things like that. You're not going to cut anything with it, where the other ones that are broken will cut. I've got them actually right here. Clearly, these will cut very nicely along a neck, etc., eyeballs, all that kind of good stuff, pressure points, obviously. But it doesn't stab too well because it's got a blunt end. You know, it's all blunt. So if you want to go after the neck, Hannah might be the right ticket. We're going to explore some more with that too. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, I saw an untapped resource in your residual from the break off of the Hannah. It left you secondary pieces as well as the Hannah, one for each hand. Your residual pieces could be utilized for the slash verse. Gives you 2 tools, 2 weapons. So yep. It's got a lot of options.
A lot of possibilities there. Yeah.
Very much so.
A lot of possibilities. Really fun. So in the idea of scoring now, we're thinking that we can also score. We're going to try that this week. Score this to see if it will break appropriately, what the options are. You even were here and laid a Hannah this way, and yeah, now we're thinking if this could be done that way, that would be really cool because of the strength of the tile itself. But this particular tile, we sharpened an edge. It's hard to see. You can kind of sort of see it there. See how it's beveled, right? This chisel edge. And with the weight behind that, this thing could cut very nicely, I think. Now, we went to Costco yesterday and we got steaks. Guess what I'm cutting my steak with tonight? See how well that works before you cook it, actually. You know, so that could be very interesting to how we can score, chamfer these edges, chisel edge them. And I said, well, wait a second. I mean, we're buying these tiles. We're not a tile manufacturer, so to speak. This is a new product line for us, clearly, but we do acrylic. So here's your acrylic drink coaster design, right? Pretty. Not as colorful because the tile itself has that nice background to it, but very unique, very different. And it's got a chisel edge as well, and it's pretty sharp. So not as much mass, not as much weight, but I think you could do a pretty decent job on somebody with something like that as well. So we kind of got this hide in plain sight chisel edged version, scored Hannah approach that will be probably, I keep saying this. There's a very famous saying of mine is there's a time to fire the engineers and hire the marketeers. As an engineer, oh, but I can do that. Oh, wait, if I do this, you fired. Get some product out, guys. Let's get going. So I'm giving myself my own counsel. There's going to come a time here this week. I've got to freeze a design, at least to version 1, and get it out. Pricing. I showed you some of the pricing numbers today. Shocking. And I ask you, okay, just the bare substrate material. Which one costs more to buy, a chunk of tile or a chunk of CD-ROM? And of course, you said tile. And I said, you're wrong. I said tile when I said that until I did the spreadsheet of costs and labors and all that stuff to figure out the pricing and the competition. By the way, 4 of these out there, the least amount that we found was $28 for 4, all the way to 56, and the average was sitting in the 40-42 range. We're going to come out with a much better price than that. Plus, it's more functional than perhaps theirs might be, and no one does this out there at all. And this one breaks so darn easy. It comes with, of course, 8 pads, so it's pretty. We used to only have 4, but heavier drinks, this thing would bend. Where this isn't going to do anything. This comes with 4. This comes with 8, and it turns out the most expensive item that goes into making this stuff, other than the labor, are the little felt pads. Amazing. Which I showed you the numbers. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that to be true. How about you?
I was shocked. I never in a million years would have expected the CD to be more expensive, but it's a great tool, and it has. I love the plain sight.
20 cents.
It's beautiful.
20 cents. 15 cents. Excuse me. 20 cents for this. 15 cents for a tile. Amazing. I cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying.
Said this hide in plain sight is such an essential, and you're really tapping an area that's so needed out there right now.
Isn't that the truth? So let me see, where else do I want to go? Okay. Soaring right along. I want to bring up these little guys again, which kind of sort of got everything started, right? This whole line of stuff got started this way. Yes. And the other, you had even mentioned, gee, it'd be nice if this could break off and you'd have 2 defenders, 1 for each hand. And I kind of, whatever. I mean, that would be nice, but the glue that we were using before, it's not coming off there. So I was talking to Ruben about it last night or the night before, and he picks it up. Yeah, there's no way. Oh my God, he was so surprised that he had a defender in each hand. And we looked, and we had only glued 1 spot over on this side and 1 spot over on that side. And it's certainly strong enough to be held and do anything you want, but we believe, I don't want to tear these apart because they're the only ones I've got for cameras and everything else, although we can glue them again, but I guess I could, but I do have the one we tore apart, I think, sitting right here. Anyway, perhaps I do, perhaps I don't. It was something like this that came apart very nicely. And this is your favorite, I think. And right. There you go. Right on camera. I mean, think that out.
I like it.
That's crazy.
I like it a lot.
That's crazy. And it's really good. And what's nice about it, of course, is that, well, of course, that's an ad for us, mind you. But when somebody asks what it is on your desk, it says, oh, yeah, it's an ad for these people. And nobody will never think anything more about it. That's it. Now, if they, go to the site, they might realize that, oh, okay, it's a self-defense tool site. But they would not think what this is, right off the bat anyway. It's hiding in plain sight. Poor baby. I have glue for you later, sweetheart. Get you put back together. Get you put back together. We have the technology to make them better now.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, this stuff, and we got to get back on this. And I think you were the one that said, hey, well, brings up the colors now. Okay. Now so all this stuff was heading towards, I have way too much stuff here. Okay, why the heck were we starting down this tile thing and looking into it was for this reason, making tie-dye defenders basically. And this is the industry term for this is alcohol ink. And so we did trying all these various methods on the tile to learn to make alcohol ink designs for the defenders. I think they're gorgeous, very different.
Absolutely.
And then this is our new one. Um, and I mean the color designs of these are just fantastic. I don't think they hide in plain sight anymore, but um, they could sit on a desk if there was a holder. And you had mentioned that.
Yes.
So we're working on a universal holder in some fashion that these things sit on. It could have a base with PDWS, the stamp on it, all of that stuff. Not bad. So we've got that in the wings. We're not there yet. We're trying to finish one project at a time, so to speak. But these are just super duper beautiful, and there's nothing out there like them. Well, first off, there's nothing out there like these anyway in the Defender world. But to have these strokes of color and flavor, and let's see, one of these is got the Eckmeyer. This is the Eckmeyer. It actually has our logo on it. It's kind of difficult to see, but you can see the logo there. So we wanted to see how the logo would pop out with the colors. Doesn't do too bad. Probably easier to see in real life than it is on the camera, but beautiful tool. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, paint these red or something. I mean, you pull this out, though, somebody's going to go, whoa, hold on, time out. I'm done with you. I'm out of here. Like that one guy did with the Mike over in Dana Point when he was getting attacked by the story number one. If you go to the stories, he just pulled out a Defender of the Year, and the guy freaked out because he didn't know what it was. It would look so horrible, and this is starting to look just as equally ugly. I mean, you come out with something like that to somebody, holy Toledo, that's something. And since I'm on this tool, we were going to call it the Tatanka, which is Lakota or Sioux, Indian for buffalo, and because this kind of got these two buffalo points out there. Well, I'm not so sure that that's the right answer, but let me explain something else to the viewers. So a lot of the viewers, this is behind, Defender Central, they just think we come out with a tool, cut it out in plastic, and we're done. No. This was my original design that I had Ruben build, really lower profile, in close, and he said this could be very difficult to manufacture well, and it doesn't do everything I want. What I wanted was these tips here, these points here to be bigger, and you can just cut right through the side of a neck in a heartbeat, stab. Of course, these are obvious: throat turn, stomachs, eyeballs, all of that stuff. And have a chiseled edge tip for stabbing very nicely. Okay. This then went to, okay, that's not bad, but we want to now try this wrap stuff. So we wrapped it, and that was nice, but still, this is getting a little different, closer, but still different. And then I finally got to where, oh, we need to have it a little larger. These points here have to be larger to do the cutting that I want, the ripping that I want. And then I wanted an ability here to have, when you're in close quarters, to snag an arm and pull it in without cutting it. Just get, or put it in and get hooked up to it, so you could push on this side, or pull on this side and pull somebody closer to you, right? So you start to think, we just didn't cut out a piece of plastic. It evolves with the idea of the combat that we want to do. So now these points ripping along a neck either side, I mean, right there, just that motion, that quick, they're in serious trouble, right? Point in the eye, throat, I mean, wherever you want to touch. And then you came down and, I said, needs to be an inch longer. And, okay. And
Sometimes things got to come in adult size.
well, there's now the final product. We think you can't come anymore until I finalize this. No more suggestions on that one. And you were just here, so it fits very nicely. It really does fit nice, even for me, even though I have some extra down here before I get to the point coming around. This is going to be the final design, I believe. The points here are just a shade bit smaller, just the shade bit smaller. So I'm going to get those pushed back out to the green size, but beautiful tool, absolutely beautiful. And we now don't know what to call it. But before I leave that whole topic, we started with that and we ended up with that. That's quite a bit different, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it grew up.
Yeah, I love the evolution.
Yeah,
And
so and all of these have evolved in one form or the others. This one may have taken more iterations than the other ones have, but not by much. So these are really cool. And we're going to have a naming contest, I believe, like we did with the Ekmeyer. When we introduced the extraordinary tools, a lot of them were obvious to name. The Ekmeyer was not. And so we created this thing, and we probably had 50, 60 people, weigh in. And so you said you even had a name, but don't say it
I
because
will not.
you can't say it now.
I will enter that contest.
No, don't. I need people who don't have a dog in that hunt to be able to pick the name.
The marketing versus the engineer. I get it.
Yeah. So don't tell me that. Have Jennifer do it or somebody else. But
Yes, sir.
I need, completely, you know, I mean, since I wanted Tatanka, but I won't enter a name. And so I have a few other people that don't enter names, but they're familiar with the defenders and they go through the list and that's the one I like. And I see it. I don't take some of them. No, don't think so. But anyway, hopefully I'll have that out this week and let it run for a week or something. And then whose ever name we pick gets one for free wherever they are in the world. And all I ask is just take a picture of it, wherever you're at. In this case, a hand up against the salt in the sea, and just take your picture of some iconic aspect. Don't care about you. Don't care about your hand, but I want an iconic background if I can get it. But anyway, that's underway. So
The old
I,
Flat Stanley.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Flat Stanley is the little character that the kids bring around to all the monuments and different things, take a picture and send it back to the schools.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All your parents can tell.
Huh.
Defend the version of Flat Stanley.
Oh, okay. Well, the hide in plain sight could be where's Waldo,
Same theory.
Yeah, but where's Waldo? But and I want to start now um, a weekly segment on crystals. Okay, so I think the people would like to understand the key energy, and most of martial artists understand that. but we're going to have a small section here. So what's the crystal of the week, Harry?
All right. Well, Crystal of the Week was our way of introducing the personnel out there at Defender Central of basically the properties of crystals. So we're going to choose a crystal every week, and we're going to go over the basics of the crystal. And we carry all these crystals. So I'm going to start with one that you've talked about before, and we've went over. If we're ready to go with that right now.
We are.
Okay. So we're going to start with obsidian. We know that obsidian. Now, obsidian is a naturally formed lava rock. Basically, it's lava glass, to be exact. And its properties or healing properties basically are it's a protective stone, and it basically keeps away negative energy from yourself and from others. Its healing properties are it's supposed to help with indigestion. It's supposed to keep your circulation flowing, and it is supposed to hold on. I got my pause it. It's supposed to encourage deep tissue healing. So those are three interesting aspects for its healing and metaphysical properties. Protective in the sense of protects against negative energy from even your own internal negative energy coming out. Now we have here, I have a couple here. This right here is an obsidian sphere, obviously polished, and it would promote all those properties. Originally, obsidian was used by the Native Americans for tools and weapons. And here is an obsidian arrowhead, which is carved and does. But having come out in the natural form, we have here a natural piece of obsidian. See how beautiful the coloring is when it comes out raw, when it's not even polished. Even to the point of, like you have at your place, go big or go home.
Yeah, I've got both the go big or go home, but I also have those beautiful pieces right outside too.
Sure.
And a lot of that stuff came from the east end of the Salton Sea. There's an entire wall of obsidian down there.
Yes,
Amazing.
that's exactly the case. And
Amazing.
one of the only places that you can come up with natural volcanic glass in its form. So very interesting.
Now, here that you gave me, or Jennifer did. So how do you use something like that?
Well, if we're talking defender wise, we know how to use.
No, I don't need any advice on defenders, but
yes.
But I'm experiencing a lot of medical challenges.
Yeah,
I'm experiencing medical challenges. You say negative energy, either
negative
from
energy,
outside or inside, right?
Exactly.
So
and
do
that's
I
part
hold
of why
this? Do I think about it? Do I rub it on?
Well, having it near you, all energy, all crystals have vibrations and frequencies that they vibrate to, and energy that comes from within. And just having them in your presence, even if it's at your desk or your workspace, or wearing it as a wrap or jewelry or any of the sort, is going to help promote that energy, be it in your environment that you're in. Yeah. Obviously, me over here, I'm loaded with crystals everywhere. So I have the benefit of that vibration everywhere. But choosing what you need, what we say here at Cosmic Vibes, basically is whatever you're attracted to is what your energy feels like it needs. So if you're attracted to obsidian, it's probably because you're in need of that assistance in your energy.
Well, as a kid, I always loved obsidian. You didn't know that, but I meant, and I've actually got some obsidian arrowheads here. And one of my martial arts guys, I forget the name that they call themselves, but they make the arrowheads. There's a whole artwork behind these things.
Sure. We have the mahogany obsidian and the black obsidian.
Yeah.
Both with Cosmic Vibes. We love that.
there's even YouTube channels about people that do this, and they show you how to do it. And these are old timers, but man,
Sure.
and one of my students makes his own arrows. I mean, he's really off the grid kind of guy,
Sure.
and Afghanistan veteran on top of that. But so yeah, he makes everything. These are incredible stuff, fun stuff. All right. Any more stuff on the crystals?
Basically, we've been working with videos. We've been doing blogging.
I'll
She just
float
put up
over
her
some.
site.
I'll float over some of the videos. I'm going to take a look at them,
Sure.
and if
Sure.
they are appropriate, I'll float them in and out. I know they
Yeah.
have troll dolls in them, and I'm my biggest joke
Yes.
on troll dolls, and I won't
Yes.
say it. Not going to say it. Not going to do it. But at any
All right.
rate,
Do you want a sneak peek of what my end of your Hannah is? A sneak peek. It may not
if,
be finished
if you
completely.
want,
Okay. This is what was created for Jennifer, at least to start with, and we will work on it. But this is a new way of going, which you haven't even seen yet. And this is a designer decorative Hannah, which is custom wrapped with leather, copper for grounding, raw emerald for healing, raw emerald for prosperity, and pyrite also for prosperity and luck. It functions exactly as your other Hannah comes out.
hmm,
And this is something that maybe somebody who is looking to be hiding in plain sight could be
yeah, no
wearing
kidding.
this as a woman who has this exotic piece of Wonder Woman like jewelry, where it's not a Wonder Woman piece of jewelry, it is a defense weapon.
That's a Wonder Woman with a bite.
Exactly, Wonder Woman with a bite. So, sticking with your hiding
That's
in plain
interesting.
sight, this is a way to incorporate merge our worlds.
Oh, no kidding. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um, I was talking to the mother. Her name is Debbie, of our good client, Debbie, and her daughter is Hannah. That's how the name got around. But
sure,
I was saying, man, we need costume jewelry. We need something,
sure,
and I don't do any of that stuff. I have no expertise in it whatsoever.
sure.
We definitely need something like that. That's very interesting. That she's here we go again. You know,
This is my modification, my entrepreneurial sense, learning from you. And this is some way to incorporate our stuff.
that's cool. I like that. We need to talk more about that.
Yes, that
Uh,
was a little surprise. So you did not know that this was coming in this podcast.
yeah, no, that is a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, I could flip the tables back and say, give us some breadcrumbs on something else, but I won't do that yet, unless you want.
We're gonna work with that. It's gonna come to fruition. Um, just need a little bit of time. So it's might be something maybe we will delve further into, but it is another way of merging what we have together.
Hmm.
And we can attempt to bring that further into fruition, maybe a couple of podcasts from now. But
Okay,
we do
that
have an interesting ideas we have spoken, but we'll expose a little more, maybe a break from a week until we
I
get.
can't wait. It's actually been something I've been searching for,
Yeah,
um, or to outsource, basically.
yeah,
Even I was going to have it in here too,
sure.
but probably for 5 years now. So
Well,
it's like I'm anxious because it
yeah,
opens up a whole nother line.
it did.
It
It did.
does.
Yes.
Now, last part of the
Mm.
podcast, a new tool. And this is really a new and an old tool, but it's a tool that was never seen before very much. And it was going to be just for the instructors. And you can see the problem right there with the hook. Of course, the design is designed to penetrate, and you go on the way in. There's no resistance here. This is some, and it hits this point. It goes kaplunk in. It rips a hole on the way in, goes all the way in a body, and on the way back out, this notch rips the hole out the other side. So you've got a way to bleed them out, because a lot of times when you stab somebody, I'm probably getting far too technical, but the wound closes basically because there wasn't enough damage. They don't leak out like the British like to say, to leak. But at any rate, this was made in 2004, designed, and we will increase a lot of the points to it. Got a chamfered edge for nice cutting. Still got a blunt back end to grab soft tissue, that kind of stuff. And actually has our logo on it now too. And Ruben just made, because we had one left that we had prototyped that came out of one of our miscellaneous boxes, and it may end up being Defender of the Year for next year, or we might go ahead and incorporate this into the product line. I'm just not sure. What do you think of that design?
First, first time seeing it. I didn't even get to see it when I was there.
You were sitting right next to it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. I didn't see how observant I
Yep.
was. I was focused on our other stuff at that
Right.
point.
Right.
I like it. It looks like a Frankenstein tool. You got the bottom of the Ekmeyer, you got the general shape of the original Defender with your to be named tool straight edge off the side
Yeah.
with the grip. So it's got a lot of positive and interesting points to it. And I'm always a fan of the pistol grip.
Right.
I like the hold of that. And the bottom, like the Ekmar, it does appear. It's almost like a fish barb. You know how
Yep.
hard it is and what holds the fish. Same principle. So I think it's going to be a really impressive tool. Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that barb is deadly. We know how that can take care of business.
Yep. That can take care of some good business too. I mean, and
Absolutely.
I'm surprised that nobody's ever done anything like that. That all the way back into 2004, like I say, all of our tool, not all, many of our tools were curved and sharp at the bottom. So when you stab something, you pull it out, like I say, it closes on itself. Now, if you hit an internal organ, does it really matter whether it leaks out or leaks in? It doesn't matter. It's leaking. The clock is ticking, so to speak. But you'd like to rip out, a big gaping wound is what you'd like to do. Um,
Maximum damage
if you have
initiates the stop.
Yep. If you have to, then that's exactly what you do. But it also says, hey, you got 20 minutes to fix the problem, so to speak. You get EMS there, they can plug it up, keep them alive.
Absolutely. I think it looks great. I'm excited to get my hands on it.
Do you want to try to name this one?
Oh, I'd have to think about that one.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll play. Come down and borrow it or something this week, and
Yeah, I'll get a better look and a feel for it, and
know it's going to be too short for you. Know that.
I
Okay.
could
Just
see that. Yes,
overlook that part. But yeah, this is an
yes.
interesting. You know,
I like the concept, and I like that chafed edge on the top. That's always
can you
one of my
can
favorites.
Can you imagine this in the back of your neck? A lot of times people will tackle use, particularly the UFC guys and the Hoist Gracie guys, right? And man, they got their head right there. Just rake this across the back of their neck or the back of their head. They're going to come off. Something's
There's
going to
so
happen.
many
Oh shoot,
possibilities.
yeah,
So many
this
possible. I mean,
that's worse. But I meant
that
just
is that is
know
just
that.
loaded with opportunities to take.
I will go back to my. Actually, I should do that. Let's go over to listen to the principle of pain. I don't think I've shown that on our podcast for a while. Let's go over. I had this guy. Let's see what I want to do here. Bottom of our pages. have the principle of pain right here.
Oh, how you doing? Me? Oh, I'm just dandy. Now, a guy like me, I'm used to tools like this. You know, sends a message in a meaningful way without a lot of It's not ambiguous. You know what I'm talking about. Now, sure, Sammy here, she gets the job done. But, sometimes you need something with a little more finesse. Oh, yeah, Sammy says she has finesse. Well, who can argue that? You gonna argue with this? Yeah, I didn't think so. The great thing is, it didn't take me long to narrow down a great new tool. Let me introduce you to my little friend. This here is the Defender. Oh, don't let its unassuming nature there get the best of you. This little bad boy right there is made out of a highly durable plastic. You know, it's kind of like that Lexan stuff. Same stuff that stops bullets. Now, the Defender is all about versatility. You'll notice that it has multiple points that can be used for pain. You've got a nice blunt in there for any kind of pressure-sensitive point that you can find. You also have this nifty little edge to, finagle around. That point right there, that does a number on a temple or what have you. You know, a nice poke and drag. You know what I'm talking about. Now, these lovelies here, I wasn't exactly sure what those were all about. But then I watched the included training video, and I found out that those little points applied to the inner edge of an ear, or maybe you catch somebody up on the nose, under the eye. That right there will inflict a lot of pain. I can guarantee it. A little bit of pressure, and whoever's messing with you is going to be crying home to mama. When you're in a tight spot, you gotta have some versatility. Pretty much as soon as that's in your hand, you're ready to go. You got multiple points of injury, and a heavy dose of pain suppression for whoever might be annoying you. One of the best parts about the Defender is you're not going to get all the hassles that you get at other places, you know? Most places are not going to let you in with something like this. Yeah, I know, Sammy. I know you like to get out, but, you got to play nice with the new tools around here. I'm sorry, you just do. She'll get over it, trust me. This right here can go anywhere. You can put it in your luggage, you can carry it on you. Metal detectors, all of that stuff, not a problem. It's made out of durable plastic. So in short, the Defender right there is the perfect tool for when you just need to say no to someone. Remember, it's called the Defender, defense tool. Yeah, get one of these and you're not ever going to have to worry again. Remember, it comes with the training video, teach you how to use it, apply all the principles of pain. I like that. I think I'm going to make that my tagline. I'm the principle of pain with my sidekick. Yeah, the Defender. Remember it. Get one and be safe.
That guy is incredible.
I love that video.
I do too. A matter of fact, I kind of tested it, market tested it, and a lot of people said, don't use that video. Don't do it. Don't do it. But my sense of humor was, yeah, well, I want to use that. And of course, he's making it his ability to cause some pain to people that owe him money or whatever as a gangster. You know, that's his motif, so to speak. You know,
Sure.
his character. But I love how he just approached that old school flickering video. Love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I need more of those.
Yes.
But at any rate, principle of pain. That's what this thing would be. You know. Oh
Sure.
shoot. I mean, I just can't even imagine. And you see here we had the pistol grip all the way back to 2004 and didn't move it forward. We also had, the disastrous, end, and it's scientifically designed to have the least amount of impact resistance to go into a body, you know. It's just so perfect. It's like, why didn't I do more with that? But I didn't. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let me check my notes, but my notes now are completely covered with stuff. Yeah, we'll have probably a naming when we get this bottom part fixed, maybe, and some other things. This will be another naming contest, and which turned out pretty nice last time. Like I say, we had about 60 some odd people, and I kept track of them, and on my Excel spreadsheet that you saw earlier on pricing out, the DVD, the CD-ROMs versus the tiles and all of that stuff. Every product you have, needs to be priced out like that and compare your competition, see where you're at. The matter of fact, you hadn't seen anything like that from me before. What do you think of that? Not that that's a big deal, but what do you think of that?
Well, I think that that's an essential part as me being fledgling in the business industry to know and have actually the insight to your productivity costs,
Mhm.
competition, and basically your markup is essential. It's a key part of business for sure. And if you don't do that, as you had stated to me when we had discussed this in the past, you don't really know if you're pricing things appropriately, which could be your life with death in operating a business. If you don't have enough information, you could be pricing things completely off. So yeah, that's really key.
The last thing we should have mentioned too, if anybody else has a product that fits in with us, we'd like to have them as a guest on the show. If there are any questions, and I kind of thought the other day, well, I wonder if somebody I mentioned this spreadsheet thing, because I know there's a lot of small businesses and martial arts schools that
Sure.
they don't price out anything.
Yeah.
But when I took over the computer repair store in town a few years back, they
Right.
didn't know what it costs to do this, costs to do that. I said, how can you? I mean, you go get a hamburger from McDonald's, they know everything about that thing, right? And
Sure.
the price point. But I also had a client in the restaurant industry, had no idea what his food costs were, and I beat him up for years, and he
Right.
finally went in and did it, and he goes, "Oh my God, I've been giving this food away for free." Well, I've been
Or
asking
just
you
not
for three
valuing
years.
yourself.
Well, that's a whole nother problem. But I mean, just the basics of business, gotta know these things and
Sure.
to defend it. All right. Well, anything else, Harry, that you want to that we forgot, maybe, or
No, I think we're doing okay. I
all
think
right.
we hit each of our topics.
Okay, good. And then we'll see you next week with another edition of the Crystal of the Week, and we'll go from there. So say good afternoon, Harry.
Good night, guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
Hey, we're
Hang
up.
on.
Keep a good stance right before you advance. That's sincere. Keep in control, you gotta let